In the quiet corridors of my soul, I can't breathe. I had lump in my throat and was blinking away the tears. I tried to speak, but I was choked with the tears. When all this happened to me a few years ago, all I could do were hide my feelings and keep smiling in front of people surrounding me. But after all those situations become as a past story, I'm able to manage my emotions and understand the situations very clearly. I'm inviting you to join me into the depth of my soul where the sadness resides, waiting to be explored and understood. Today, I would like to inform you about the times when I got a sister for the first time, cope with the loss of a loved one, and face the challenges of failing an exam. Let's start with the times I got a sister for the first time. My emotions become very wide when being an eldest for the first time, especially when I got a new sister. The firstly is because I feel insecurities. I'm worried about whether I'm still get the same amount of attention and love from my parents as before my sister was born. We were always playing together, but suddenly it all changed after my sister was born. For example, my parents told me to not playing loudly near my sister because it could make her awake and make her cry. And as I was 3 years back then, I feel offended and sad without knowing why I have to control my voice. And secondly, because I feel jealousy. As time passes, I have to adapt to a new role and need to get used to it for the rest of my life. Sometimes I perceive that my new siblings will receive more attention than me, and I feel like I'm going to be sidelined for my parents. I miss my old days with my parents before she was born, and as I'm getting older, I have started to understand why all parents need to act like that. It is all because all a baby could do is crying. If whether they are hungry, sleepy or sick. Hence, that's the reason why the parents need to pay more attention to them. Now let's move to the time when I lost a loved one. Feeling like a storm has settled over my emotions when I lost a loved one, which is my late grandmother. She was a lovely person. She took care of me a lot when I was a kid. This because my parents always sent me to my grandmother's house when both of them needed to go to work during the weekend. And glad I have spent so much time with her even though it's only for 5 years. The most memorable experience which is still stuck in my mind was the time she jokingly forced me to eat a raw shallot while she was cooking. And then as I said, "No, it doesn't taste good," she started to chase me until the living room, but it ended with a hug. In the comforting embrace of my grandmother's love, I found not only a source of joy, but a roadmap for a life filled with love between a grandchild and a lovely grandmother. But after a few years back then, she was diagnosed with tuberculosis. And I don't know how she felt that time, but she kept smiling and told to my parents to not worry too much about her. As I remember, there was one night I heard her calling for my father from the kitchen because she had coughing blood and had chest pain really bad. I just watched it behind her without knowing anything and understanding what was happening. And that was the last time I saw her before she went to the hospital with my father's. And now she leaves me forever. If I could go back to that time, I wish I could hug and kiss her for the last time. When I tell a story about the loss of a loved one, I'm sure all of you have at least once in your life. Finally, we go to the last one. The day I faced unwelcome news of my exam failure when I was in secondary school. I think I was the saddest person in the class that time. Why? It is because my friends started to separate from me. When I just got my exam result paper from my teacher, they look at mine and they started to laugh silently, but it still comes from my ears. And after that, during lunchtime, four of them didn't ask me to go to the canteen together as usual, like before. It broke my heart into pieces. And then I kept asking myself a question: why I can't be like them, clever and have so many friends? Then I just realized that not all people that we are close to will be by our side, especially when we are in a hard situation. I thought I could not handle myself when being alone and have no friends at school, but actually I made it. Even after that, I made a new friends that really accept me without any judgment. Failure really taught me with its bitter lessons, urging me to reassess, recalibrate, and ultimately to rise once more when you are fall. And now we come to the end. In conclusion, we have explored the canvas of sorrow and joy painted by the tears of running down on my face. The reason why I felt upset before were because I got a new sister for the first time, I lost a loved one, and I failed an exam. Sadness not only the thing about sad, it teaches you how to be stronger to face the challenge thing in your future. That's all from me. Thank you.